Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Star Nations Organization's main fan page. I forgot to turn off the light. As you can tell, I'm broadcasting from my meditation room, and I'll tell you why in a second. I'm going to turn off this top light. Hold on. Oh, that's so much better. That's so much better. My second studio is in my meditation room. Yeah. Today is Wednesday, April 17th, and it is raining here in Toma, Wisconsin. It is, George is in here with me, and like any other show, he's laying on the floor sleeping, but he's dreaming, and it's a happy dream because he's wagging his tail. Yeah, I think he's dreaming about running, that's for sure. So anyway, it's pouring here, pouring rain, and we're supposed to have thunderstorms this afternoon too. Yeah, and so in order to take care of George when he goes out, because when he came in he was soaked, and so a bunch of towels and trying to get him dried off the best I could, and I thought, you know what, this is going to be so much easier to do 3 shows today from the house. Right, because of the rain and to be able to let George in and out. So that's why I'm up here in the meditation room, broadcasting the daily live stream and group card draw show. So welcome everybody. Oh, my sisters are having a discussion. Sorry for the blinging. I should probably turn that notification sound off. Yeah, so today's Wednesday, and the third Wednesday of every month, we have Nature Connections, which comes on directly after this live stream. And I'm also a co-host on that one, and I produce that show. So we're going to end this particular live stream about 10 minutes early so that I have a little time to get set up for that next show. Yeah. It's a busy Wednesday. Busy doing publishing stuff too. We have the copy proof back of the Sound Weavers, and so we're going over page by page to see if there's any corrections that need, because this is the last time we can do any kind of adjustments. And so that's what I was filled my morning was all about the Sound Weavers. It's a good time though. I enjoy doing that kind of work. Yeah, and so before we get started, I know I almost forgot. Going to share and like the broadcast, the live stream, and I'd invite you to do the same thing. Only if you want to, though. It helps us to be in the newsfeed a little bit more often. And let's see, there we go. And I'm going to share it over to my newsfeed, just so that my friends know that I'm live streaming. There we go. And asking them to please join us. There. Doesn't take too long. As long as I spell correctly, all the quick keys come up. There we go. All right. Well, Julie Shumway Hill is in the house. Hello, Julie. Good to see you here. Good to see. Is it raining down by you? Julie lives south of me by probably a good hour. And then she works even on the other side of that, even I think 45 minutes to an hour more. And so 2 hours south of me. And so I was just wondering if it's raining down in our capital city too. Probably is. The whole state, there's rain. Yeah. Okay. So today's cards. Very interesting considering my show last night, Communications from Home. We talked about the medicine ball, right? Yeah. And Julie saying, "Yep, it's raining down by her too." I think the whole state is it's rain. I do believe. There's a weather system that's going through. I'd rather have this though than snow, because now we can say April showers bring May flowers, right? And mean it. Okay, so the first card that came today, very interesting card. It's called the Medicine Bundle. Here, let me take my name off from there. It's called the Medicine Bundle. Yeah. And so basically, depending on what nation is sharing the information about the medicine bundle, they look different. And it's all about allies and support. Allies and support. So when you look at this image, to me, it looks more like a bag, right? Yeah. But it's called a bundle, a medicine bundle. And the Native American ancestors, and it's possible even your ancestors, used something to hold or contain special items, right? And those special items usually had something to do with their individual medicine. So, for instance, they might have found a stone that meant something to them, and they would put it in there, or feathers, and they would put it in there. They may have been gifted, like a bear claw or an elk tooth or something like that, and they would put it into the bundle. And because some of those bundles were really meant for personal use. Okay, so when it's meant for a personal use, you wouldn't necessarily even share with everybody what was in your bundle completely, right? Because it's so personal, it represents your spirit, it represents your medicine. And so you wouldn't necessarily share it with everyone. Yeah. Or anyone for that matter. But there's all kinds of bundles, though. There's more public ones, ones that are kept by tribal leaders. And the items that go into that bundle are meant for the entire nation. And so those are well known, and everybody kind of knows about them and who gifted them and where they got them and the story behind them and the whole thing. So, so they're more public, right? But there's also bundles that women's clan, the women in a clan might hold, or the men in a clan might hold. Warrior societies, they might have their own bundle. And so, it's used by the medicine bundle can be used for many, many different purposes and by different groups, different people. Today, I think this one has more to do with an individual medicine bundle. Yeah. And so what would that mean for us in modern day, right? And sometimes, when I think about the medicine bundle, it kind of reminds me of coming out of South America, the shamanistic belief systems that come out of South America. They have their altar, and I had the word, and it just whoop, it was gone. It'll come back. It's a mesa. That's it, mesa. And they bring it with them. They travel with it. It's with them all the time. And the reason why is that whether it's a medicine bundle or a mesa, there's spirit that lives within each of those. Okay. So in all the things that you might gather for your personal medicine bundle, that represents your personal medicine, the spirit of those items are in there, representing you, your spirit. And so a mesa is very similar to that, very similar to that. So those of you that might be in the live chat or when you're watching this as a recorded video live stream, you might be familiar with the South American belief as they carry their altar, and it's called a mesa. And Yeah, and so they believe that there's a spirit that resides in that mesa, and so they take care of it. They take care of it. The medicine bundle is all about your support and how spirit supports you, how all of creation supports you. Your allies are in there. So you might have something that represents your power animal or your totems in there. You might have something that represents your clan if you belong to a clan. You know, Native Americans aren't the only ones that live in clan systems. You guys hear about it from me because that's my background, or that because we are here in the United States, right, Turtle Island. But there are many people, indigenous people all over the world who still live in the clan system. Water today. I'm thirsty. Yeah. Hi, Pat. Good to have you here. Good to have you here. Yeah, Pat. Pat, your ancestors, right? Scottish, from Scotland. Many of them still live in a clan system there. They know who their clan people are, right? Yeah. And Rob's here too, playing close to the vest. Yes. Yes. You wouldn't necessarily share everything that is in your personal medicine bundle. And that the reason goes back quite far, probably hundreds of years. It was believed that if somebody knew what was in your medicine bundle, they would know enough information about your spirit, your medicine, to be able to hurt you, right? Because we're talking about bad medicine here, okay? And so they wouldn't share it. They wouldn't share it. I mean, even when I was a kid, you know, there was a belief at that time that we shouldn't even share our spirit name, our Native American name, with anybody outside the family, because once you know somebody's name, their spirit name, you know how you could possibly hurt them, right? And so that was the main reason hundreds of years ago that information wouldn't be shared, because they would have a fear of someone knowing how to use bad medicine that could hurt them. Okay. Now, if you fast forward to modern day, I think it has more to do with, not having to share everything, right? Is that you keep some of your own personal aspects to yourself, right? Yeah, you might share it with, your significant other, you know, um, or somebody that's very, very close to you. But you wouldn't necessarily have to, because it's yours. It's yours. And you know that now this is going to sound kind of strange, but you remember the movie Pretty Woman, right? There's a line in there that I think is very appropriate, because the line is, "I say who and I say when." In other words, I have really good boundaries. I say who and I say when. And so we have the same kind of boundary when it comes to our medicine bundle. I say who and I say when. I say who has the ability to have access to this information, because I'm going to share it with them. And I even say when those individuals are going to have the access, right? Yeah. Rob is saying it would allow for sympathetic magic. Yes. Yeah. And I'm not saying that bad medicine isn't done in modern day. It is, but not necessarily to the extent in certain parts of the world, not to the extent that it had, right? There are some places that still do. There's some places that still have Yeah, some pretty serious psychic wars. And so, yeah, you just have to. We don't necessarily live in those places today. The people who are here in this chat, not necessarily do we have to be concerned with something like that, but there are places in the world that do. You know how much I like Jamie Sam's poetry, right? What she writes about the cards. So here's the poem for this one. It's called The Medicine Bundle. Symbols of connections with allies of the earth, medicine to heal us and give us birth, talents to honor, abilities to praise, strength and compassion guide our medicine ways. I like that last sentence. Strength and strength and compassion guide our medicine ways. I like that one. She says that the medicine bundle is a collection of items that has come to you in a variety of ways that represents the totems of your power animals or allies along that nature. Okay, so it's a little bit different than when we have a personal medicine pouch, right? It's the size is what makes the difference. A personal medicine pouch, the one that you wear, um, is smaller. So you can only fit so much in there. And so sometimes you end up taking some things out and putting something new in, right? Whereas the medicine bundles is bigger, and you don't necessarily have to take things out unless you want to. You can continue to add to them, but you don't necessarily have to take them out unless you want to. Which leads to a whole nother discussion as to how do you take them out and how do you honor them and respect them and either return them back to the land, back to Grandmother Earth, or maybe you regift it. You give it to someone else. Yeah, but that's all done in ceremony too. Both of them. All right, so the medicine bundle, all right, so Jamie Sam actually talks about something in here that I found fascinating, and that is that you can actually pass your medicine bundle in its entirety or in parts to someone else. You can gift it to someone else. And in many traditions, an elder will gift parts of their personal medicine bundle to others as they prepare to walk on, right? And so they have certain people that they want to make sure get certain aspects of the medicine bundle. Yeah. And there she did write about something that I found, I kind of felt good about. So it resonated with me. That when an elder has walked on and they haven't gifted their medicine to someone else, their medicine bundle, that bundle is actually burned in a sacred fire. So that the connection between the medicine bundle and the elder who walked on is severed, is no longer connected. So that the spirit of the elder doesn't feel the attachment to material things. That makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. I was thinking, oh my goodness, okay, this is where my mind went. So I may as well share it because I thought, when I'm an elder and I'm getting prepared to walk on, and if I haven't gifted those things that I consider part of my medicine, I was going to have to tell Paul or somebody, it's like you're going to have a pretty big fire because you have probably about a dozen drums to have to put into a sacred fire. Um, you have a whole bunch of space clearing items to have to put in there. There's a lot. There's a lot. And even though I have to say that I had thought I have kind of right sized, pared things down, when I look around, it's like, oh my goodness, Paul will never know what to do with that. A bunch of artwork too, that he wouldn't even know who he should give it to. Or if Paul's not here, there's no way any of my nieces or nephews would know. So made me think a little bit, you know, that and I have talked and taught a class about bequeathing our sacred items to others. This is along those lines, okay? Um, and that many times, light workers, energy workers, we don't necessarily think about that. Yeah, and where those items are going to end up, right? So it's kind of like putting it in a will in a way. It's not necessarily a legal document because an attorney's not drawing it up. However, if you do have an attorney and you are working on your will, um, you might want to include your sacred items in there. Maybe possibly even have your own executor that will have instructions and what to do with certain items of yours. Yeah. Because I know that when my Misha walked on, it was before he even walked on, though. My mom was helping him to discard of a lot of his sacred items, returning them back to the earth or putting them in the river, that sort of thing. Right? Yeah. So your own personal medicine bundle doesn't answer what? I don't understand. I thought I answered. Wait. I don't understand, Rob. If Neshi doesn't answer, PM me after the show. Um, oh, Pat, I'm sorry, Pat, I didn't see that. What is sympathetic magic? Well, I think that's just another way of saying using energy, using alchemy in a way that could do harm. Okay. I think that's probably a good way to say that because it's not necessarily, energy is energy, right? It's what we decide to do with it that puts the connotation of negative or positive on it, good or bad energy. And so you can use that same energy to create something good or to create something negative. And so sympathetic magic probably falls more in a line. Well, everything, I'm talking about a pagan belief system here. So anything that would be earth-based, considered pagan, would have something like sympathetic magic. All right. Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes, what crossed my mind is love potions. Love potions. Because they have the word love in them, you think that they're going to be, it could be something good, right? That you want to attract a certain person to your life. And let me tell you, love potions are still sold today. Some of them work, some of them don't. But, because they have the word love in it, you expect it that it's going to be of a positive energy, right? Well, the energy that's behind it does attract. But when you use a love potion, it's really about controlling the other person. Yeah, they don't necessarily love you out of their own volition. their own decisions, their own heart, is that you're manipulating the energy around that so that they only see certain things in you that they'll literally be tied to you energetically. Yeah. So that's still in my book bad medicine, because you're controlling someone else. Yeah. You're not allowing them their free will. Right? Even though the title of it is a love potion, it's not necessarily even about love, really. So I hope I answered that. Rob, if you have something else that you want to put in there, please do so. Rob is saying sympathetic manage can be used in a good way. It's a specific form used. Yeah, but energy is energy. The person who's using it is the one who's deciding how they're going to use it and whether or not it's a positive or a negative. And in the example I gave about the love potion, I think it depends on how you're viewing it. If you're the one who is buying the love potion or making the love potion, you believe that it's for a positive thing. But as a recipient of that, it's not necessarily a positive thing because you're being manipulated. You're being controlled. You are your free will has been tampered with. See what I mean? Okay, so the medicine bundle. This is the message for the medicine bundle in the application of the card. It says the medicine bundle has come into your hands today, and you're being asked to honor the wisdom of your ancestors and your allies. If you're not sure what the messages are, look at the strengths that are now being given to you and count them as your personal medicine. This assistance is supporting your present path and should be recognized as blessings from your medicine helpers. Through them, you may find the courage to support the self. The focus of the card tells you that you are not alone. The path may be difficult at times, but you're being supported during your climb. If the path is progressively easy, you are in alignment with the allies and are experiencing their assistance, so please be grateful. In all instances, you are being asked to note who is helping and seeing if you can return the favor by supporting others. The assistance of the medicine helpers does not falter when you stumble on your path. By example, you should also remain true to others who have assisted. Betrayal after trusted is deadly. To have allies, you must also learn how to be one. So what we fill our medicine bundle with, those allies that help support our personal medicine, is that we're never alone. We have all kinds of help. And so depending on what your gifts are, right? Because that will tell you about your personal medicine that you can put into your personal medicine bundle, because it represents your medicine. So, for those who have power animals that are, that have feathers, you can have that relates to that. You can have little figurines, the fetishes that represent your power animal, your totem. Those kinds of things can go into your medicine bundle. Yeah. La, 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 la. You're welcome, Pat. Let's see. Rob is saying it has to do with something owned by the person in question when personal. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. It's not even necessarily something that was in their medicine bundle per se. There are certain medicines that can be used by using someone's hair, someone's name, their full birth name or their spirit name. Yeah, there's all kinds of things out there. that we've never really even talked about. Julie's here. She goes, "Hello, all. I'm on spring delay time." That's too funny. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Rob is saying, in nature, such as rain dance, it involves becoming the element involved. Yes, and it's just not the rain dance kind of situation either, Rob. Honestly, you know what it is? It's about manifesting. When you're talking about something like the rain dance, it's about manifesting and turning to the elements, the element of rain, of water, and and connecting with that, right? So those individuals who use water, the element of water, to bring rain, they literally experience the rain emotionally. They experience it. They feel what it feels like to have, especially in a dry, arid time, that feeling around what would happen if I had a glass of water. If it rained right now, what would that feeling be? Right? And they be that feeling. It's not fake it till you make it. No, they actually become it, and that is the magic behind that. Hmm. You know, when Ed Langdon, he says something that when somebody asked, I think Julie was asking something. Julie Shumway Hill was asking about which job, that she was applying for, which one, should she take? And he basically said, if you're manifesting this, try both of them on. Feel what it's like to be in both of those positions and which one brings you the most joy, right? So in many ways, when you're doing something like a ceremony like the rain dance, it is actually being in the rain, even though it's not raining out. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's becoming. They are. They're not, it's not in the present tense. It's in the a future tense. It's not in the future tense. It's in the present tense. They are the rain. They're not trying to be it. They're not becoming it. They are the rain. Yeah. And and the thing is that the rain dance is it mostly comes out of the Southwest, the indigenous people from the Southwest. And it's just not the element of water that they're connecting to, but they're also calling all on their power animals and their allies. And in this particular instance, they also use the medicine of snake when they're doing the rain ceremony. Hmm. So there's a lot of alchemy going on there. It's fascinating stuff. Rob is saying in acoustics, sympathetic vibrations occurs when a sound vibrates. Can demonstrate this on the guitar or piano easily. Oh, that's interesting. It involves vibrating sympathetically with something in order to change it. Oh, okay. So, for instance, is this what it would be musically, Rob? Is that when you're drumming, when you have a hand drum and you're drumming in a drum circle, right? And you haven't started drumming yet, but you have your hand or you're able to hear your drum. It sounds like your drum is playing, but you haven't used your hand or your drumstick on it yet. So you can hear the reverberation, and the sound is coming from the other drums, but your drum sounds like it's being played. It's the coolest thing. Yeah. Julie says it takes training for that. Yes. Yes. It takes training to learn the ceremony and working with the snakes. Yes. But the actual being the rain, anybody can do that. Anybody can do that. Yeah. It has more to do with, it has a lot to do with your mind, really. You know, our mental mind is pretty powerful. And then you blend it, you bring it together with the emotions of what it's like to feel the rain and be in the rain. And what happens? You create rain. You manifest it. Mhm. Yeah, the Hopi Nation. If you look up the Hopi ceremony for rain, they're the ones that use snakes, and so does the Apache. They also use snakes. Yeah. Okay. So I'm looking at the time, and remember, I gotta scoot out of here about 10 minutes too, because we have nature adventures coming up right after this live stream. All right, so the second card that came is this one, Rites of Passage. It's about change. Rites of Passage. Rites of Passage. So the poem for the Rites of Passage is, the changes of many winters mark the cycles of the wheel. The lines across my ancient face show all that I can feel. The nature of my passage remains a mystery, for in my heart of hearts, I hold my destiny. When I was but an infant in the beginning of time, I marveled at the wonder of discoveries I would find. Now that I am ancient, I have learned once again that the weight of every winter brings discovery like a friend. It's about change. Rites of passage. There's all kinds, isn't there? All kinds. There's some that aren't necessarily performed in modern day. The rites of passage to adulthood, those puberty rites of passage, a girl's first menses, becoming a woman, um, a young boy becoming a man. They all had ceremonies attached to those in the old days, hundreds of years ago. Um, in modern day, we don't necessarily celebrate those or bring those forward in ceremony as much as we used to. We don't actually mark it, although there are hints of it, right? Such as your driver's license. When you first get your very first driver's license, whether it's your temps or if it's your regular driver's license, right? It's always a big big time when a teenager gets their driver's license. Um, and the other one that came to mind, of course, weddings, right? But also divorces, because it signifies a change, a change, a birth of a child as you become a parent. Yeah. So you kind of get the drift, right? And in modern day, we do celebrate certain things that are our initiations, graduations from high school, graduations from college, um, going into the military and then graduating from the military. Um, there's all kinds. Motherhood, there's all kinds. And sometimes we celebrate them and sometimes we don't. Sometimes there's ceremonies attached to those and sometimes they're not. There's ones that we consciously do. And so, for instance, if you decide to join a group, like the Masons, right? Because they have the initiation ceremony for that. So there's all kinds of rites of passage. Rites of passage. It's signifying there's a change. There's a change. In some ways, Walking on. Walking on is a rite of passage. It means you completed what you came here to do. In some cultures, beliefs, they believe that there's 5 exit points that you can leave your physical life, right? And as you use your free will to decide to take that offer or not, on the 5th one, you don't exactly get a choice. It's your time to leave, and so in some ways that is also a rite of passage because you've completed something. You're moving on. You're moving forward. Yeah, even though that the people that you might have left behind in the physical world, your children, your spouse, your relatives, they're going to be going through grief, right? And even with that, I think that there's a rite of passage with that, because eventually, what happens, and there's no time frame on this, what eventually happens is that those that are in grief come to a point of being able to adjust and change their life so that they can continue moving forward, right? Could take some time. There's nothing saying that it has to happen in a certain time frame. But I do believe that's also a rite of passage. Hmm. But what does this have to do with medicine bundles, right? All right, so Jamie Sam says that the rite of passage in Native American tradition refer to the changes from birth to childhood to adulthood, or passing from life into the spirit world. She says that the rite of passage marks a time of some monumentous change in life. If you have drawn this card, you're being asked to make a note of the growth and change that's occurring because it will shape your future. The changes may be small or gradual, but you are changing. The changes may be drastic and earth-shaking, leaving a sense of confusion, but each one is benefiting your growth in some manner. The rite of passage card can also speak of a need for change if you have lost the magic and spontaneity in life. Only you can make the decision to change the doldrums to excitement. If this decision is made, be ready to fly with eagle and experience the new freedoms those changes can bring. In all cases, change is the key. Remember, if the moment you are experiencing is not beautiful, recreate it, and you will have initiated your own rite of passage. Huh. That's exactly what I said when I read this the first time, and looking at it with the medicine bundle, right? So if we're talking about our own personal medicine bundle, that whatever change that you are going through, that rite of passage, that it changes you, it adds to your personal medicine. And it should be reflected in your personal medicine bundle. And the thing is that as two-leggeds, that's one thing that's really constant, isn't it? Is change. Life's changing all the time. All the time. And so when we mark those occasions, we mark them. We can mark them with ceremony. We can mark them with putting something in your personal medicine bundle to mark that occasion. I used to, back in 2010, my dad walked on, and there were so many changes that occurred with me during that time frame. My hair used to be past my waist. That was the first time I'd cut my hair in a really, really long time. And I went into the stylist and, and I said, I need a change. I want the outside of me to look and feel as changed as the inside, And I got my hair cut short, short. Yeah. And I wanted to look different because I was different. Yeah. So the rites of passage, we're going to experience them. That's a guarantee. But how are you going to mark the change in your personal medicine? Acknowledging it, right? That shift and that change. You get to decide that. You get to decide. Very cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Hey, Stephanie, thank you for posting all of that great information about Star Nations. Appreciate it. All right, I'm going to scroll down and make sure I didn't miss any comments here. Okay, so Rob is saying precisely, though probably not at the fundamental tone. There are overtones and undertones. Oh, about the drum. Yep, exactly. Be the ball, Danny. Exactly. Be it. Don't try to be it, but be it. Rob is also saying, notice the total difference on the piano when the damper pedal is pressed. Okay, I don't play the piano, so I'll have to say, okay, Rob. Yep, yay, Nature Adventures. I know we're going to get that started in a few minutes. Good, good, good. We're going to scroll up. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. And Julie is saying, I'm convinced that if we performed the girl becoming woman ceremony, that sexual misdeeds would decline because girls would have instilled in them how sacred are their bodies. That yes and no to sexual contact would be more conscious. 1 in 3 experience assault. Doesn't even consider those who say yes in coercion or because saying no is dangerous. That is so true. That is true. But I also have to add, Julie, that I believe that we need to also add that in for the guys. That I think that if they had a coming of age ceremony for the guys, that they have the time to actually acknowledge the responsibility for their own bodies and respect for their own bodies and respect for others, right? Yeah, I agree. And it used to be done by a lot of cultures, not just Native American culture, but a lot of cultures. And that fell by the wayside as we moved into the industrial age, and even further away from it when we went into the informational age, right? But that doesn't mean that we can't bring it back, that we can't reinvent it. Why not? Why not? She says. Julie says, yes, cutting your hair is cutting with the past. Yeah, it does. And I really just wanted to have that, to have that much change on the outside that had occurred on the inside, Yeah. So, I say this every day. If this resonated with you, please embrace it. That's my suggestion, is to embrace it and see how it unfolds in the energy around you today. If the information is helpful to you, are you a direct participant in it, or are you bearing witness for someone else? Right? Either way, it's good. We're learning something in either condition. But if it didn't resonate with you, don't worry about it. It's okay. No worries. There's always tomorrow's card, and see how that resonates, right? Yeah. So, We got nature adventures coming up in 10 minutes. I'm going to let you go in just another minute or two here, just so that I can share with you that there's two other things coming up this week for you. Is that tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time is Polly Jola Bay and Soul Connections. That's an evening of healing and divine messages. And you can join her at 7 p.m. and get started with the healing meditation, and she'll flow right into the card draw. Okay. And then Thursday night is in the Star Nations Academy closed group here at Facebook. We have our free mini class that happens once a month on the third Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And the topic this month is creating an altar. Why would you want an altar? Why do you need one? How to create one, and also how to take one down. Yeah, how to remove one. So with that, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and hopefully we'll see you back here in 10 minutes. Go get a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, run to the bathroom, and I'll see you back in the chat room in 10 minutes, okay? In Nature Adventures. Bama Mina, everyone, until we see each other again. Love you guys.